Hi, am I on the air?
Yep.
Fuck.
Thanks.
Do I have everybody's attention now? Do I have everybody's attention now?
Don, I got you.
Do I have everybody's
Sunday
attention
night.
now?
You put them cameras on me, then you must be willing to get that heart touch. This a must-see feeling. The news ain't good, then it must be villain. So I say a tag grounded, I don't trust these ceilings. Spread across your nose, and I'm on your ear. Highest necks on the cloud. Am I in the air? Sunday nights, prime time. I flex my better. Voltron transform to DX Don. Mega and obscene. You probably think I'm nice, cause I slow like a stream to your wireless device. And the smoke full of steam on any given night. I'll short like a piece of any given slice. And for the latest and what is best about I tune in and tune the rest out, Don. You gotta tell them, am I in the clear? Is this thing on? Am I on the air? On the air.
Hi, am I on the air? Oh yeah, what is going down, everybody? Welcome to the show. It is a brand new Am I on the Air, and it's our season finale. Yes, it is Christmas week, and happy holidays to everybody out there. I hope it's going to be a great one for you all. But yeah, this will be the last episode of 2014. We will return with season 10 in the new year, so very excited about that. I hope everybody has a very great and happy holidays. But tonight, it's Season 9, Episode 16, It's a Hard Knock Life. It's a hard knock life. I decided to go with this title for a couple of different reasons. One of the big stories we'll get into a little bit later is about the Sony situation and pulling the interview down. Definitely a hard knock life in that aspect, that the studio had to yank a movie over a threat, and that we as fans don't get to see a comedy movie over a threat. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. And of course it ties in with one of our movie reviews. I'll be reviewing Exodus, Gods and Kings, and Annie. So I won't be spending too much time on Annie, but yes, I did see it. So, so Season 9, Episode 16, it is our 2014 season finale. And my name is Don Mega. I'm your host, and I'll be taking you on this journey. We haven't had an episode in about 2 weeks. And for those of you maybe wondering why, it's because as we get closer to Christmas and the holidays, the news just drops off. There's really no news coming out around the holiday season. And this happens, usually around Thanksgiving and definitely around Christmas. There's just nothing to really talk about. And that's why tonight will be the season finale, because there's barely any news being released on a daily basis. And last week when I was going to do the new episode for you guys, there wasn't really truly much to talk about other than the Exodus movie review that I had. So I decided to skip it. I did have a brand new Am I Still on the Air come out, so my focus was really to promote that for the week. If you haven't heard that and you're a fan of the TV shows Arrow, Flash, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I highly, highly recommend you go check out our latest Am I Still on the Air. If you're like, what the hell's an Am I Still on the Air? Where have you been? Am I Still on the Air is a spin-off show of this show where we basically just focus on one topic. Because this show is all over the place. It's movie reviews and it's movie news and TV news and anything pop culture kind of stuff. Am I Still on the Air is more streamlined, is more focused. Is when there's one particular subject out there that we really want to focus on and talk about. It's Am I Still on the Air? Over the summer, we did a bunch of spoiler movie reviews, and we did Am I Still on the Airs for Marvel's Phase 3, and we did one for DC's lineup. Usually have some guests on the show. And this episode here, I got my boy Peeps. You can follow him on Twitter at ForMyPeoples. He's got a show called The People's Forum right here on Red Dragons Radio. and I'm always popping up on his shows. So he came on with me, and we did the Am I Still on the Air, all about the mid-season finales of Flash, Arrow, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because they were amazing mid-season finales. So, and I know a lot of people watch those shows, especially, usually if you watch one, you watch all three. They were so good, we had to dissect it, talk about what's coming, the whole nine. So that was our latest Am I Still on the Air. If you just go to amiontheair.com or reddragonsradio.com, you can look for the link that says Am I Still on the Air, and you can see all of those episodes. So definitely go check that out if you're a fan of those TV shows, and hear kind of some examples of what I think may be happening or coming in the future for all three of those shows. So that's kind of why we didn't have a show last week. And now we'll get into it for this week. So for up first is going to be the movie review for Exodus, Gods and Kings. This movie here, I was kind of like so-so to go see it. My brother-in-law really wanted to go see it, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm always willing to go check out a movie, especially because it gives me the opportunity to review it here on the show for you guys. So I went, really with no expectations. I'm not super big into movies like this. I didn't see Noah. I didn't see, some of these other like biblical type movies. They're hard to do, and they're very hard to keep entertaining. And this is directed by Ridley Scott, and Ridley Scott hasn't had a good film in a long time. So I really didn't have very much hope. But going into it, the pacing for the most part was pretty good, and it told the story pretty well. One of my biggest beefs with this film is it time jumps all over the place and never really tells you how far ahead we're skipping. It's just like, in one scene, Christian Bale's hair is short. In the very next scene, it's long. And in the next scene, he's got no facial hair. And the next scene, he's got a big old beard. And it was just like, oh my God, quit jumping, Like, it was just driving me nuts because I couldn't, focus on what the hell the timeline was. I didn't know how much time had passed. There was only, one point in the movie where it actually told you this is, 8 or 9 years later. Other than that, it just kept jumping. So, disappointing in that aspect. The movie is a little bit too long. It's about 2.5 hours long. I think if they would have kept it a tight 2 hours, it would have been perfect. Because it did start to feel like it was dragging. I did look at my watch a couple times, and that's not a good sign for a film when you're looking at your watch. Of course, I don't want to dive too deep into the story aspect of this because of religion aspects and this and that, and we're not a religious show, and I'm not going to try to, view my spin on this. But basically, you have Christian Bale as Moses, and you had Joel Edgerton as Ramses, and they basically in this film they grow up together like brothers, and end up having to exile Christian Bale's character out of the kingdom. They leave him basically to die, and then Moses is visited by God, basically told he needs to help free Egypt and all the slaves and everything, and he takes on this ride, and then basically the rest of it is kind of trying to get Ramses to bow down. The casting, one of the biggest issues and problems with this film was the casting. You got a bunch of white people playing all these ethnic roles. Jonathan Turturro played the Pharaoh of Egypt, which I couldn't help but laugh every time he was on screen. Sigourney Weaver's in this movie, and she's literally in it for 2 minutes. I think she says one line in the film. It's just completely wasted. It's weird, man. Joel Edgerton as Ramses, he's this little white guy, and I was just having such a hard time finding to believe in him as that character. If you can kind of push all of that out and just focus on the story and everything, it actually wasn't that bad. It was a pretty okay movie. Once the plagues come in, which basically God tells Moses that he's taking too long, and he's like, I need to speed this up, so I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna do what I got to do. And that's when, the river flows with blood, because he sends up all these crocodiles and they start eating all the people, and they murder so many people that the water fills with blood. And then, of course, the bodies rot, and then the frogs come up, and the frogs invade Egypt, and then the frogs die, and then they wilt away, and then the gnats come, and then the locusts come. It's just, once all of that kind of stuff started happening, it was really, really cool. I thought the special effects were amazing. It just, all of that stuff just looked great. So, at first I was going to give this movie 3 stars, and then once like all the plague stuff started happening and how cool they handled all of that, and how one event triggered the next event and then triggered the next event, I was like, okay, that's pretty tight. So in the end, I gave Exodus Gods and Kings 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was a good film. It really gets really good when all the plague stuff starts happening, but it does drag at points, and some of the casting is a little head scratching. So it has its ups, it has its downs, but overall I thought I appreciated it. Like I said, I went into this with really no expectation. I didn't think I'd like it very much at all, and I ended up liking it more than I thought I would. So that's a big plus for me when it comes to that. So Exodus Gods and Kings, 3.5 out of 5 stars. And that'll lead me to my second and final film review, which I'm not going to spend a lot of time on. It is Annie. Annie is the number 3 movie at the box office, I believe, right now. Let me just double check that real quick, but I believe so. Yes, number 3 in its debut. Jamie Foxx was really good in this film. The little girl, Quizane Wallace, she was pretty cool as Annie. Cameron Diaz was a little too over the top for me. Rose Byrne was really good because she's always good in everything she does. But the movie was boring. It was straight boring. And once again, I'm not the demographic for this film, but my stepdaughter wanted to see it. I felt like the songs came across super boring. The flow of the movie was super boring. It just, I don't know. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen the original Annie, so I can't really even sit here and say, does it hold up or does it stack up? There's some new songs in there. I didn't think any of them were really too catchy. In the end, I was just really looking forward to the film being over. It was very cookie cutter, the way it kind of came together. There was nothing new or crazy about the script. It's a very just remake. So it's a hard knock life for this film, which I gave 2 out of 5 stars. It was just okay. I didn't hate it, but it was just okay, and that's what 2 stars is okay. So, the deal with Annie. Like I said, she's an orphan, and basically she gets saved one day from getting hit by a car by Jamie Foxx's character, who is Mr. Stacks, and he's this real rich guy who's trying to run for mayor, but he also owns this big cell phone company, and they think it's good for his image if he starts hanging out with this girl, and kind of, because she's an orphan, and taking care of her. So at first he's reluctant to do it, but of course he does, and then he starts to connect and have a relationship with her. It's a sweet idea, and especially once they start connecting. Like I said, I thought Jamie Foxx did great, and I thought and the little girl playing Annie did awesome too. But the songs are boring, the flow of the movie was boring, and it was just, in the end, it was just okay for me. So 2 out of 5 for Annie. Okay. So, with that being said, let's get into our news of the week. And I'm going to start right off with the Sony situation. I'm not going to spend an exorbitant amount of time on this because I've actually already told this story through our YouTube channel. So let me give you a couple different places if you want to get the full-on breakdown. Basically, if you go to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/amiontheair, I actually did a video blog on the situation the night that it all happened. So if you go to our YouTube page, you'll see there's a video called The Interview WTF Happened. So, what the fuck happened to the interview? It's about 14 minutes long, and I basically break down the entire situation from start to finish. Also, another place to listen to the breakdown of this is my boy Geeky Pat. He does a show on Red Dragons Radio called This Week with the Geek, and he wanted to do his whole episode this week on the Sony situation. So he called me up and he asked me to be on it, and I was glad to go on and talk about it from the movie perspective. And so I went on his show and we talked about it as well. So you can also go listen to his episode. It's an hour long, and we basically shoot back and forth about everything that's gone down on this situation from start to finish. What are our thoughts? What do we think is going to happen? Kind of situation. His episode's called The Interview Cancelled, and you can listen to that once again over on reddragonsradio.com. Click on the This Week with the Geek tab, and you'll see that episode right there. But I am on that one with him talking about this as well. So between his show and the video blog, I've pretty much gotten out everything I need to talk about. But of course, you're listening to Am I on the Air, and you need to hear Am I on the Air discuss it. So I will discuss it in brief. But basically the gist of it was last week Sony came out and said, because, there was a lot of threats going on saying, don't show this movie, don't show this movie. So Sony came out and they said to all the theater chains, hey, if you're not comfortable showing this film, we are cool with you pulling it from your distribution and not showing the film. It's cool. We won't mind. We understand. So I thought that was pretty cool that Sony was willing to take that hit. But when that happened, I truly didn't think that any studios would actually do it. I truly didn't. And then a couple days later, I think it was Wednesday last week, a lot of the major theater chains started dropping out. Cinemark and AMC theaters. 5 big chains in America dropped out. So they were saying that most of America wasn't going to be able to show it. So I was a little bummed, but I started looking at what other theaters do I have in town that I can still go watch this movie, and I was thinking, I can go to Harkins and stuff like that. Then about a couple hours later, after the theater chain started pulling it out, Sony released a press release, and they said, you know what, we're not going to release this film anymore. We pulled it from its December 25th release date. Oh boy, was I pissed. I was pissed because I couldn't believe that because of a threat that we were yanking a film down over it. A comedy film of that. It's not like we did this crazy, biography of Kim Jong-un and, it's a comedy film from Seth Rogen and James Franco. Like, this is crazy. And the fact is that Sony has backed this film from day one, and they've always said, we're going to release it. We're going to release it. We don't care. We're going to release it. And then the first time a threat came out, now it was a pretty heavy threat. They talked about, do you remember September 11th? It'll be just like that. If you live by any movie theaters, we suggest you get away because, people are going to get hurt if you show this movie. So my initial reaction was very pissed. I couldn't understand that Sony would pull this film. Give us the opportunity to choose to go or not as film goers, as film fans. Don't make the decision for me. So I was pretty pissed. Then as a day or two went by and I started to think about it, and by the time I went on This Week with the Geek, I had another aspect to kind of look at it from, which was, I have to understand where the studio was coming from also. Which the studio was saying, we are responsible for the safety of our patrons and of our staff. And the more I thought about that, I was like, they're pretty right. If they thought that anything bad could happen, they have to be careful. Because, if I go to the movie to see it and I unfortunately die because I get shot while watching the movie, my family's probably going to sue AMC theaters, for allowing that to happen. And they got to protect themselves from stuff like that. So they, took the safe way out. Was it the right thing to do? I don't know. I'm very 50-50 on this angle right now because I feel like they kind of had to from a safety standpoint and for a liability standpoint. But from a fan standpoint, I think they jumped the gun a little bit too rough. Especially because they didn't have an alternate method to get the film out. It's not like they said, hey, listen, we're not going to show it in Christmas Day, but we're going to release it, on pay-per-view on Christmas Day, or we're going to release it, on some other kind of platform. A lot of people think they should release the film for free and allow people to just download it. I'm willing to get it for free. I'm willing to pay for it. I'll pay $50 to get this movie right now if they want to try to make some money back. Sony's saying that no video on demand company wants to touch it or release it because they're afraid. That's not the end all for me. Sony obviously owns the Sony PlayStation Network, and they do video on demand, and Sony could release it themselves through the PlayStation Store very easily. And I would buy it for whatever price. Sony also owns the Crackle network, and they could show it through Crackle if they really wanted to. So they have methods, they have ways that they could do it through their own media chains. So even though no VOD, maybe through like a Comcast or DirecTV wants to touch it, they could do it themselves. Throw it on the PlayStation Store. I think it's the easiest and best way to do it. One of the main chiefs of Sony did an interview just yesterday and stated that they do have plans to release the film at some point. They're just trying to figure out through what method. So that's at least getting us somewhere, because last week they were saying the film will not be released. So at least we're starting to kind of get some headway somewhere. President Obama came out and he said Sony made a mistake, and now we've set a precedent that we bow down to terrorist threats. And I appreciated, his comments, because I thought he was going to back the studio 100%, and he came out and was like, no, that was stupid. If you guys were scared, you could have called me. We could have talked about it, and there could have been something we could have done. He says it's a sad day in America when we're pulling a comedy film out of theaters because of an empty terrorist threat. We're not sure that anything could even happen, and we just jumped the gun. And that's, I guess, maybe my biggest beef, is that we jumped the gun on it. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. Like I said, I don't want to spend too much time on it. You can listen to the fuller story in detail on those other avenues. But yeah, I'm basically at the point we're at right now. The film is not coming out anymore on Christmas Day, which does suck, because I was planning on going to see it. No plans yet for release. We'll, of course, keep you updated, because hopefully we'll hear something here soon, maybe this week even. So keep an eye on the Twitter and the Facebook pages. Even though it's the season finale for the show, I will never stop putting out the news for you on our social media streams, so always follow along on that. But that is the gist of the Sony situation. Very sad. Seth Rogen has not come out, or James Franco, and talked about this yet. So I'm really curious to hear Seth Rogen's angle on this. Not only from the fact that he's an actor on this film, but he also directed it. So it's his baby that may never see the light of day anymore. Okay, let's move along and let's blast through the news of the week. Because we got a little bit of a chunk here, especially with some award nomination stuff. The Leftovers Season 2 is going to be coming soon, and some of the cast is not going to be returning. There's been no exact names listed yet of who is and who isn't. Justin Theroux, who is the main character of the series, they said he should definitely be back, but they're saying that don't be surprised when about half the cast does not return for Season 2, so who knows what they have up their chain for Season 2 of The Leftovers. But I love that show, and I can't wait to see it return. Diane Lane and Kyle MacLachlan are signed to voice the parents in Disney's new film, The Pixars. Disney's new Pixar film, Inside Out. There is a trailer for it already, which does have their voices in it. It's a really cute trailer. You can check that up on our pages as well. FXX has renewed The League for a 7th season. The bad news is it will be the last. So 7th and final season of The League coming next year to FXX. I love The League. I came late to the game on this show. I think I started watching in the 3rd season. But I love it. I'm not a sports guy, but I was told by many people you don't have to be, so I gave it a chance, and it's so funny. So I love it. I'm fortunate to see that it's going to be the final season, but glad to see them at least get another season out of it. In the rumor situation over on Batman v Superman, one of the big rumors going around is that Detective James Gordon, or Commissioner Gordon, by the time this movie picks up, is already a deceased character, that he's passed away, and that he's talked about kind of in a past tense situation. So it's kind of interesting that they would choose to just kind of overlap, the Commissioner Gordon character, especially with how much he's the focus of the Gotham TV show on right now. So once again, it's a rumor. Who knows? This could be completely false. But according to some set reports, they're saying that Commissioner Gordon is already passed in this version of the universe. All right. So Edgar Ramirez has been signed to star opposite Jennifer Lawrence as her husband in the new Miracle Mop Inventor movie called Joy. Okay. Like we need a movie about the Miracle Mop Inventor. But who knows? It'll end up probably being awesome. The Sci-Fi Channel and David Goyer are developing Krypton, a TV series that's about Superman's grandfather. So they're kind of doing their own Gotham kind of series here, where it's about the Superman universe, but it's way before Superman, dealing with Superman's grandfather on their actual planet of Krypton. So this sounds cool to me. I don't know, because of it being on the Sci-Fi Channel, it makes me a little bit worried. I wish it was on a better network. But I believe in David Goyer. He's had his hand in a lot of Superman pots, and I think they'll do a good job with this. So very excited about that. The Kickboxer reboot has added Gina Carano to the cast. This makes me very happy because I love Gina Carano and I love seeing her in action flicks. So, great addition to the Kickboxer reboot. The show Continuum has been renewed for a shortened final season. Al Pacino has met with Kevin Feige about a possible Marvel movie role. So that's pretty cool. I don't know what he could do. I could see him popping up probably more in like a Doctor Strange than anything else. But, Al Pacino, ever since watching Guardians of the Galaxy, really wants to get into a Marvel film. So it was cool to see him actually get a meeting and do it up. So we'll keep you posted if anything comes out of that meeting with Al Pacino. They are going to do a Teen Titans TV series, and they're going to be shooting the pilot early next year to get that out. So I'm super stoked on this Teen Titans show, man, because everybody's killing it on the comic book TV shows right now. Martin Campbell is going to be directing a adaptation of Sebastian X. I'm not familiar with this title, but it's, looks like it'll be a fun adaptation. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has been confirmed that it will tie directly into Avengers Age of Ultron. So that's really cool. I love when the show does crossovers like that. TNT has ordered a 6th season of Rizzoli and Isles. So there you go. You can see the first trailer for The Rock's new film, San Andreas. San Andreas opens in theaters on May 29th in 3D. This is a disaster film about a big earthquake in California. It looks awesome. I really, really like this trailer. Sean Levy was set to direct the Minecraft movie, but he has departed the project over creative differences. So they are looking for a new director for the Minecraft film. One of the new Everything Wrong Withs we have is Everything Wrong with Noah in 13 minutes or less. We also have the Honest trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy. Yes, and this Honest trailer is awesome. Check that one out. Remember, you can see all of this stuff on our Twitter and our Facebook page. Let's see here. Full list of award nominations for the NAACP Image Awards. So you can check out all of those film nods, including nominations for Selma and Get On Up. The full list is on the Twitter and Facebook page. Let's see here. True TV has renewed 3 series and has greenlit 2 more on top of it. I know one of the series they greenlit was the Magic Show. What the hell's that kid's name? The Carbonaro Effect, that's it. The Carbonaro Effect, Fake Off, and Friends of the People have all scored second seasons, and then they're going to be greenlighting 2 brand new series to join the network, as well as True TV kind of is changing their kind of layout of the shows that they're going with. House of Lies has added Kevin Pollak to the roster, so that's pretty cool. USA has renewed Playing House and has also nabbed a early VOD deal for the show Playing House. So I never even heard of this show. Like I said, it always trips me out when I see that a show's been renewed when I've never even heard of it in the first place. Let's see here. Gunn pledges that the Guardians of the Galaxy sequel will not be more of the same thing. So he's looking to definitely make it a little bit different than the first film. I'm just skipping through some stuff that's not that big of a deal. We have the first teaser trailer for the season 4 of House of Lies that you can check out. I can't wait for House of Lies to return. I love this show. Danny Glover and Danny Trejo are going to be making it a trilogy. For those of you who don't know, Danny Trejo did a movie a couple years ago called Badass. Now, I have this on my next Netflix queue, but I have not watched it. But he did a movie called Badass. Then in the sequel, they added Danny Glover, and it was called Badasses. And now they're going to do a third movie. They want to make it a trilogy, and the new film is going to be called Badasses on the Bayou. And it's set for release on March 6th, 2015. Badasses on the Bayou. Hilarious. Gone Girl will be arriving on Blu-ray and DVD in January, so that's cool. We have the exclusive Red Band trailer for the new movie Kingsman, which I cannot wait for this film. It looks so good. So good. Cuba Gooding Jr. is set to play O.J. Simpson on American Crime Story. So that is really, really cool. It's a good casting there. I'm glad to see Cuba Gooding get something good to lock his horns into. Jeff Daniels is being eyed for a role of Apple CEO John Scully for the Steve Jobs biopic film. Lots of casting rumors always coming out for this damn Steve Jobs film. Sony, as we know now, got hacked. I mean, that's where a lot of these threats are coming from. There's the FBI is saying that North Korea is behind the hack. So we're getting a lot of info coming out. Leaked emails, all kinds of stuff. And one of the leaked emails that came out was saying that Marvel was actually talking to Sony about using Spider-Man in Captain America Civil War, and possibly working on a new trilogy where Marvel would take over creative control. They would cast a new Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield his contract would not be picked up. Lots of different things going on with Spider-Man. I'm just waiting for the news to break here, probably in the new year, where Spider-Man has been bought back up by Marvel, and he's going to be in the next Avengers film. Something's going on with Spider-Man that we just don't know about yet, but I think we will very, very soon. Supposedly, Sony is going to be having a Spidey Summit in January, and they're going to be discussing the future of this franchise. But Marvel wants it back, and I think they're going to try to do their damnedest to get him back. But as of the talks and the leak stuff, it looks like the talks have broken down, and Sony obviously still has control of it. So we'll keep you posted, but they were actually talking. So the S.H.I.E.L.D. creators have confirmed a very big confirmation about a storyline setting up Marvel's MCU future. Spoiler alert here, fast forward a couple minutes if you don't want to hear, if you haven't seen the finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. yet. But basically, the main character, Skye, on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., she is basically an Inhuman. She got her powers at the end of the episode. She's going to become a character named Quake, and it was really, really cool. But Marvel, we already know that in Phase 3, there's going to be an Inhumans movie coming out. And they basically opened up all the doors to Inhumans right here on that season finale, mid-season finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They had the Terrigen crystals, the Terrigen mist. People got their powers from it, which all ties into the Inhumans. So Who knows if some of these characters might actually be in the Inhumans movie, or they just want to tie. I think Marvel is taking the opportunity to use the term Inhumans as their version of mutants, since they can't use that because it's owned by Fox. So who knows, but there's a lot of big tie-ins. So if you're not watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you might be missing out here on some big connections to the big Marvel Cinematic Universe at this point. I know a lot of people gave up on the show after season 1, but I'm telling you, season 2 has been fantastic. Roberto Orci says that although he's not directing Star Trek 3, he is still very involved with the project. He's an executive producer, he wrote the script, and he's still on board working with it. We have the new poster and trailer for Hot Tub Time Machine 2. This new trailer was really good, and it actually gave me a totally different feel for the film than the first trailer did. It looks like a lot of different things happened that they didn't show in the first trailer, or I thought the story was going to go one direction, and then it actually went a different direction in the second trailer. So they might have done a lot of reshoots or re-edits because the film was supposed to come out on Christmas, and they pushed it back to February. So but it's a hilarious trailer, and I highly suggest you check it out. The final Late Show with David Letterman has been announced, and his final broadcast of the Late Show will be Wednesday, May 20th. Okay, so if you're a David Letterman fan, that's the goodbye. It's Wednesday, May 20th. So part of this Sony hack is that supposedly Sony is planning a Men in Black 21 Jump Street crossover movie. A lot of people are hating on this, but no one has thought about it in the way that I've thought about it. A lot of people think like this is just a desperate move of Sony to cross over a franchise because they've said that Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones will not be in the film. That is a bummer, but think about it this way. And when I read that, here was my view, was that you have Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill. They're investigating something. They're going undercover again at a school, right? And the person they're investigating turns out to be an alien, right? Oh my God! And then the Men in Black visit and basically say, you know, you guys are so good and you've busted so many reins and we love you guys and blah, blah, blah. We've been following you, been watching you. We want to make you Men in Black. And then they make Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum into Men in Black agents to further those adventures down the road. I think that would be pretty interesting and pretty funny at the same time. So everybody's thinking, like, when I hear people talk about this crossover, they're saying, like, you know, that they'll just work with the Men in Black to solve a case or something. I don't think it would be that. I honestly think that it's just, I honestly think that they would become Men in Black and go hunt down some aliens, and it would just be like a twist of the series, which already takes itself very corny and lighthearted, and talks, you know, they mock kind of the industry that they're in, and this would give them something else to play with. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. This movie can never happen, may never happen because of the leaked documents, so they might just be like, screw it, like, we don't want to touch on it, you know, anymore. But supposedly Jonah Hill really loved the idea, so I don't know. That's just my take on it. We have the new trailer for Still Alice, which is a new Julianne Moore movie, which she's getting a lot of Oscar praise for. We have the brand new trailer for Mad Max Fury Road, which is mind-blowingly awesome. I cannot wait for this movie to come out next year. It is so awesome. One of the big rumors going around, we know Avengers 2 is going to be doing some reshoots next year, and one of the big rumors going around is that some of the reshoots are being done to include Doctor Strange, whether it be a post-credit scene or maybe an additional scene in the film. Now that we know Benedict Cumberbatch is Doctor Strange, they're saying that, you know, this rumor going around is that they're going to do a couple scenes with him to kind of blend it in so we know about this character a little bit before his solo movie comes out. So that would be cool, but once again, it's just a rumor, so don't hold me to it if you're like, man, Emma on the Air told me that Doctor Strange was going to be in this movie. And he's not. It's just a rumor. Alright. We have the full list of nominees for the SAG Awards. So you can check that out on the set here. The SAG Awards is the Screen Actors Guild, voting for the people by the people. Let's see here. Wilson has met with the director and the studio for a possible role in that Ghostbusters reboot, the all-female version, which is pretty cool. She's kind of a name that I thought on the top of my head would probably pop up in something like this. So yeah. So Rebel Wilson, Ghostbusters, they may be happening. The Warner Brothers has shifted the release date of Pan to not release it on the same date as Ant-Man, because it was going to come out on the same day as Ant-Man, and the studio was like, nah, that's kind of stupid, let's not go head-to-head with that. So they shifted it up 1 week. Kristen Dunst and Jesse Plemons are going to be starring in the second season of Fargo. So there you go, they're going to be your main stars there, because we know Fargo was going to shift the casting for season 2. Inside director is going to be tackling the story of McDonald's, so we're going to get the full breakdown of McDonald's, its origin story, so to speak. It sounds kind of cheesy, but you know what? There's actually a really good story behind it, so I'm a little bit interested in checking out the story of McDonald's. Mel Gibson's new film, Bloodfather, has been acquired by Lionsgate, so they're going to be releasing that. Amy Schumer is going to be hosting the next MTV Movie Awards, so that's awesome. I love Amy Schumer. Fox has been courting Simon Cowell for a U.S. comeback. They want Simon Cowell back on U.S. Fox channel, and they're trying to figure out what project they could work with him on. But they really want Simon Cowell back on TV. Adult Swim has renewed Black Jesus, Mike Tyson, and Mr. Pickles. We have a video up, which is with the Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn, where he answers your questions. It's pretty cool. He just answers some quick questions about the film. There's some pretty cool stuff on there. We have Everything Wrong with Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. You can check that out. Disney's Star Wars theme park plans are going to be focusing on the new films only going forward. So, ouch to the old stuff. Let's see here. Shooting on Quentin Tarantino's Hateful Eight has officially begun. You can read the official synopsis for the first 2 episodes of Agent Carter, which will be starting up here soon. This latest James Bond film is set to be the most expensive film yet. Right now they're saying the budget is clocking in over $300 million. That is insane. For a James Bond movie, I don't know what the hell's going on there, but they're going to have to bring that shit down. Blair Underwood has signed on to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He'll be starring as Melinda May's ex-husband. So that's pretty cool. Darren Aronofsky may direct the serial killer tale The Good Nurse. Penny Marshall's first film in 13 years will be the baseball biopic film Effa. Okay, I don't know much about that, but yeah. Kung Fu Panda 3 has had its release date moved because of Star Wars. Yes, it was set to come out originally on Christmas 2015, but has now been pushed back to March 2016 to avoid Star Wars. Jennifer Lawrence has met with director Paul Feig for a role in Ghostbusters 3. This I really, really like, because everybody's looking for these straight-up comedians to be in Ghostbusters 3, but getting somebody like Jennifer Lawrence would be amazing, because she's got some comedic in her, but she never really gets to display it, and I think her coming out and doing this is awesome. It's so awesome. So I really hope that she gets on board with this. The names of the Star Wars characters in the trailer have been revealed. Yes. So I'll tell you what it is. The little rolling soccer ball looking thing is called BB-8. Oscar Isaac's character is named Poe Dameron. The Sith Lord that pulls out the tri lightsaber, his name is Kylo Ren. I like that, Kylo Ren. The chick on the speeder, her name is Rey. The Black Stormtrooper, his name is Finn. And I of course joke on that. You know, I'm talking about John Boyega. It's just funny how much people are still talking about. There's a Black Stormtrooper. Who gives a shit? But his name is Finn. Of course, they're stormtroopers and they're X-wings and the Millennium Falcon. So it was pretty cool. They released like these trading cards that kind of broke down everybody's name on there. Sega is going to be adapting a lot of their games into live action and animated films and TV series. Sega has signed a deal with a movie studio to produce entertainment forms for their TV shows, movies, and digital platforms. Moving forward, they're going to start with Altered Beast, Streets of Rage, Shinobi, Rise of Nightmares, and Crazy Taxi. Virtua Fighter and Golden Axe are also properties that could be adapted. I'm stoked about Altered Beast because that is the game that I've always wanted adapted. Is Altered Beast. That is so tight. And I would love to see Shinobi as well. So, feels a little bit too little too late for Sega to try something like this. But you know what? If it gives me an Altered Beast movie, I will take it. As long as it's good. And it's not directed by Uwe Boll. Stephen Colbert won't take over The Late Show until late summer 2015. So we just talked about how David Letterman is out on May 20th, and now they're saying Stephen Colbert won't take over till late summer. So there's going to be a lot of reruns there in that meantime. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare and Destiny are the top-selling games of the year. That is awesome. Congratulations. Love both of those. We have the new trailer for Tracers, which is a new parkour film with Taylor Lautner, parkour action film. We have the Red Band and Green Band trailer for Rec 4. I never saw Rec 1, 2, or 3, so I don't know much about 4, but part 4 is coming. We have the official final trailer for The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies, but the movie's in theaters now, so you probably don't care about that trailer. We have the trailer for The Gunman, which is a new action film starring Sean Penn and Javier Bardem. We have the new trailer for Wild Card, which is Jason Statham's new action film. We have the new trailer for Black Hat, which is the new film starring Chris Hemsworth. We have the new trailer for Insurgent. This is the first full official trailer because we only had the teaser before. FX has ordered a Donald Glover pilot for a show called Atlanta. Universal Pictures has pushed the King Kong film Skull Island to 2017. And they've also given a release date of the Great Wall of China film, 2016. So, no word yet on why they pushed Skull Island to 2017. I feel it might have to do with Thor 2, because Tom Hiddleston is the main actor in the film, and it might just have to be a scheduling conflict with Tom Hiddleston's, because he's signed to, and his priority is with Thor, and if they're going to be filming Thor Ragnarok in 2016, I don't know, it might just be a scheduling thing, I don't know. I'm just speculating, but the film's been pushed back. It was supposed to come out in 2016, and now it's in 2017. CBS is plotting another Criminal Minds spin-off film, or spin-off show. They've already tried a spin-off show before, and it didn't work very well, so I'm not sure why they're trying it again, but they are. So, we'll see. Sir Avi Arad is negotiating an animated Super Mario film with Nintendo. If they're going to do a Super Mario film, this is definitely the way to go. It should be animated. We all know, based on the original live-action film, this is not a live action property. But I think with animated, they could do something pretty damn cool if they do it like Pixar style. So, yeah, we might get another Super Mario film in animated form. Morgan Freeman has been approached to be in a Marvel movie. They're thinking that he may be in Doctor Strange, so that's cool. You could definitely see Morgan Freeman popping up there. The Beastmaster himself, Mark Singer, has joined Arrow as the Creature Commandos leader. Never heard of it, but hey, Mark Singer will be a pretty cool little addition for that role. It looks like Avengers 2 is going to be the last Avengers film to be directed by Joss Whedon. According to more of those leaked documents, it looks like the Russo brothers, who directed The Winter Soldier and they're going to be directing Civil War, have been signed on to direct the Avengers 3 and 4, the Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2. There's no confirmation from Marvel on this. This is strictly going off the leaked emails between Sony. And the only reason Sony even has an email about this, because of course Marvel's not Sony, is because it had to do with the Russo brothers doing another project for Sony, and then it talks about it in there that they're going to be directing Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2. So Marvel could always change their mind, but this is a little bit of a shocker. You know, I thought Joss Whedon would always direct the Avengers films, but they're saying that the task and really the pressure that he faced on this second one, Age of Ultron, was so much, he really needs a break. And because Infinity War is a two-part film that's going to be shot back to back, the project's just so big that he's not sure he wants to, he wants to take part in it. So they're looking at the Russo brothers to take that over. So interesting enough, but of course we'll keep you posted on the official announcement as it comes. But it looks like Age of Ultron may be the last one, at least for now, for the Avengers films for him, and the Russo brothers will be taking over the Infinity War 1 and 2 Avengers films. Ridley Scott, who says he turned over a script for Blade Runner 2 to Harrison Ford. He claims that Harrison Ford told him that the script for Blade Runner 2 is the best script he's ever read. Wow. That is pretty crazy, and that is pretty huge. So maybe they'll get this damn thing rolling. Ryan Seacrest has confirmed that American Idol is going to be reduced to one night. You're going to have your performances and your eliminations all in one night. No more. Come back tomorrow for the results. I love this, because this is the thing that's killing these shows. These singing shows is the whole like 2-night, 3-night kind of situations where it's like come back tomorrow and vote tonight and come back tomorrow and we'll recap and waste all this time. Do it in one night. They know what's up. American Idol's kind of puffing on fumes right now, and they're doing everything they can to kind of keep their audience. And I think if they do it all in one night, it might be a good way to go. So, yeah. Alright, let's see here. It looks like a great big possibility that Charlie Sheen could be appearing in the final episode of 2.5 Men this season. I'm really hoping so. 2.5 Men, I still watch, but it's just so different without Charlie Sheen. This was his show, and I've been fine with him being gone, but you know what? If it's the last, episode ever, bring him back. Do something funny with it. I think it'd be pretty hilarious if he faked his own death and came back at the end of the show. Amy Adams says not to expect a catfight between her and Wonder Woman and Batman v Superman. She says it's not a romantic link in that film to suggest that. Director Tim Burton thinks that they're closer than ever to getting that good, perfect script for the Beetlejuice sequel. And he also states that Winona Ryder is on board to return. I posted a really cool video on our Facebook and Twitter page. It's called Final Cut 2014. I highly recommend you check it out. It's about 8 minutes long, but it basically they splice together all these great moments from all the movies in 2014. I love this thing. I did the Final Cut of 2013 last year, and it's just such a cool video to see the whole year in movies kind of come back together right in front of you. It's pretty awesome. So check out Final Cut 2014. On the rumor rumor mill. On top of just Morgan Freeman, Ken Watanabe and Bill Nye are being eyed to play the Ancient One in Doctor Strange. Nominations for the 20th Annual Critics' Choice Movie Awards have been released. You can check out those nominations. Star Trek is still narrowing down the list of the directors to take over their film for Part 3. They say they have the list narrowed down to 5 names. And those names would be director Rupert Wyatt, who did Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Morden Tidlam, who did the Imitation Game, Daniel Espinosa, who did Safe House, Justin Lin, who did Fast and Furious, and Duncan Jones, who did Moon and the upcoming Warcraft film. After this article came out, though, Duncan Jones released his own statement, and he said, I was honored to be on the short list for Star Trek 3, but I'm not going to be doing it. I need to do my own project next. So he is out. So for me, out of these names, I would love to see Justin Lin. I think he would be awesome for it. If not Justin Lin, I would be happy with Rupert Wyatt or Daniel Espinosa. So there's some pretty decent names. Nothing that truly pops out for me that I'm like, it has to be this person. But I like Justin Lin the most out of that list. Christina Hendricks has joined the cast of Showtime's new show Roadies. So she's a great addition to anything, especially when she brings her pair along. We have the first trailer for The Loft, which is a new thriller starring James Marsden and Carl Urban. Looks pretty decent, looks pretty intriguing, to say the least. J.K. Simmons is joining Skull Island, along with Loki himself, who has already been signed. But the film title has actually been changed a little bit. The film is now called Kong Skull Island. Alrighty. We have the list of all the movies and TV shows leaving Netflix in January and coming to Netflix in January, so you can check that out. Sons of Anarchy had its series finale, and it delivered 9.3 million viewers, which was its series best. So its last episode was its highest rated episode ever. Heard good stuff about it too. Just never could get into that show. Let's see here. We have a list of 5 different actresses that are in the running to join Pirates of the Caribbean 5. No real big names here, so you can just check out the article to kind of get that. Grace Point has been canceled. It will not be back for a season 2 over on Fox. Wet Hot American Summer, old movie if you remember. It's getting a sequel mini-series that's going to be coming straight on Netflix. So that's pretty cool. They're going to be doing a series sequel to that. Tom Hanks has another Dave Eggers adaptation in the works. He's going to be doing The Circle. Hugh Jackman gives an update on X-Men Apocalypse and Wolverine 3. He says he's in negotiations for X-Men Apocalypse right now, so no official confirmation if he's returning or not. But he is in talks. But he says they are working really, really hard on Wolverine 3, and he can't wait to bring that story to everybody. So, very cool. Orlando Bloom says that Pirates of the Caribbean 5 is going to be a soft reboot, and he'll be returning and he'll be dealing with a relationship between him and his son. I don't know what soft reboot means, especially when you're bringing characters back from the original films. It's not going to be a reboot. I'm sorry. I don't feel Pirates of the Caribbean 5 is going to be a reboot in any kind of way. We have some new video game themed posters for Adam Sandler's new film Pixels, which looks really cool because it's got like a big Pac-Man one, King Kong one, or not King Kong, Donkey Kong one. Pretty cool. We have Everything Wrong With How the Grinch Stole Christmas. You can check that out. We have the Honest trailer for The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. Oh yeah, let me pull up this list. I'm going to read this here to you here in a minute. Part of the Sony Hack 2, an email was released with Channing Tatum pitching his own Ghostbusters film to Sony Pictures, saying that you could have the all-female one, but he wants to do one with him and Chris Pratt, and basically do a real scary comedy kind of version of Ghostbusters, and then maybe even team up with the girl version down the road. But he really wants to do his own Ghostbusters film, which is kind of interesting. Because I don't know if they would do two separate franchises of it, like a girl one and a guy one. But Channing Tatum wants it. Terry Crews has been tapped to host Fox's new show, World's Funniest Fails. Stars has renewed The Missing for a second season. We have an article up with all the details so far on on AMC's new Walking Dead prequel show that they're going to be doing. ABC's Resurrection and Mistresses is going to be streaming exclusively on Hulu. TBS has ordered a comedy pilot called Quality Time from the Broken Lizard Gang. That's pretty cool. I love Broken Lizard. Back on the rumor mill, some sites are running that this is confirmed. It's probably confirmed, but not exactly yet. Supposedly, Viola Davis has nailed the role of Amanda Waller in the Suicide Squad film. The only thing that's really stopping this from being 100% is they're trying to make sure that the scheduling is right. Viola Davis is on one of the most popular television shows on TV right now, which is Murder in the First Degree, or Getting Away with Murder. Sorry, I don't know why it's but Getting Away with Murder. She's the main star of that show. They're trying to make sure that the scheduling doesn't conflict with it. If it doesn't, then she will be Amanda Waller in the Suicide Squad film. If it does, then obviously she'll be out and they'll have to recast. But that's the rumor, is that Viola Davis will be Amanda Waller. So we'll see. Too bad it's not Oprah like they wanted. That would have been really funny. We have the new trailer for 71, which is a new war film starring Jack O'Connell. We have the trailer for Show 'Em What You're Made Of, which is a Backstreet Boys documentary. I forget this chick's name. Hold on, let me open up the article here. But The Flash has a new... they have her listed as Mad Men alum, as Captain Cold's sister. But her name is Peyton List. And she is going to be starring in The Flash as Lisa Snart, the sister of Leonard Snart, aka Captain Cold, played by Wentworth Miller. First of all, I love Peyton List. I know I didn't know her name, but I love her because she was on the Tomorrow People, which I watched last year. This chick is gorgeous. Like, if I had to pick probably what a perfect woman looks like, it's probably Peyton List. She is just beautiful, head to toe, perfect. I'm glad to see her pop up on the Flash, and she'll be joining Robbie Amell, who she also worked with on the Tomorrow People. So I'm glad to see that they're taking some people from that show, which was really good and I think deserved a second season, to bring over here. Very cool. Here's a list of the most viewed trailers of 2014. Are you ready? Are you ready? Number 20 is Pitch Perfect 2. 19 is Mad Max Fury Road. 18 is The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. 17 is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. 16 is Sex Tape. Number 15 is Dracula Untold. 14 is X-Men Days of Future Past. 13 is The Fault in Our Stars. 12 is Transformers Age of Extinction. 11 is The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. Number 10 is Interstellar. Number 9 is Dumb and Dumber 2. Number 8 is The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies. Number 7 is Minions. Number 6 is Furious 7. Number 5 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Number 4 is Jurassic World. Number 3 is Avengers Age of Ultron. Number 2 is Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. And guess what the number 1 trailer was of the year? It was 50 Shades of Grey with 93 million views. Holy crap. Star Wars was hot on its trail, though. Star Wars was number 2 with 81 million, and that only came out a couple weeks ago. So that trailer was released on November 28th, when the 50 Shades trailer came out on July 24th. So it's a big gap between them, and a little over 10 million different views. I think Star Wars would have caught up if it got released earlier in the year. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. Out of 20 films, 50 Shades of Grey is your number 1 most viewed trailer of the year. Wow. Alrighty. Well, let's keep it rocking and rolling for my love for Peyton List. No. Dear White People star Taya Thompson has joined the cast of the Rocky spin-off film Creed, so that's pretty cool. AMC Theaters is going to be doing a trial run of a monthly subscription service where you basically pay like $30 a month or $40 a month, and you get to see unlimited movies as much as you want. And I think there's going to be another version for like $45 a month that will include 3D and IMAX showings as well. So that's pretty cool. The Hobbit: The Battle of the Five Armies grossed $11.2 million just in its Tuesday previews, so off to a bang there. The Flash has added another sibling with Nicholas Gonzalez coming on the show as Cisco's brother. Neil Gaiman wants Tom Hiddleston for the Sandman role in his new film, so that's pretty cool. Sorry, I'm skipping through a lot of this Sony stuff that we already talked about. Fox's ADHD cartoons have found a new home on FXX, so they'll be showing that. That's pretty cool. I love to see when other networks step up and, take a project that may have failed on one channel and give it another shot when it deserves it. In parody function, we posted on our Facebook and Twitter page the interview, the censored trailer, and you can check that out. The censored trailer is hilarious. Basically, this trailer has been edited by Sony Pictures in accordance with the Guardians of the Peace. It's the official trailer, but basically they use beeps and they use teddy bears and smiley faces to censor anything we shouldn't see that may be North Korean. It's really, really funny, so if you want to get a good laugh, check out the censored trailer for the interview. We have everything wrong with Tangled in 14 minutes or less. And this was another sad thing going out of the Sony stuff with the hack and pulling the interview. Steve Carell and Gore Verbinski's new North Korean thriller film has also been canceled by their studio. North Korea is going to be a touchy point from now on, and I don't think any studio is going to want to dip in, 30, 40, 50 to $100 million on a project that may cause us grief down the road. Once Sony pulled the project, the movie studio said, nope, we can't do this thriller. So it's very unfortunate. I know Steve Carell is super pissed. So is Gore Verbinski, who say, creative freedom is out the window now. And, it's just really sad to see their projects get yanked as well. Larry David says another season of Curb Your Enthusiasm is very unlikely, and he does not want to do a finale episode. Charlie Sheen is going to be reprising his Ferris Bueller role on the Goldbergs. This makes me very, very happy. I love the Goldbergs, and I can already picture him in his role from Ferris Bueller on the Goldbergs. It's going to be awesome. We have the second trailer, and I believe final trailer, for American Sniper, the new Bradley Cooper film. Alvin and the Chipmunks 4 finds its director, and it'll be out next year. Sarah Silverman is going to be starring in a new HBO comedy pilot. That I am very happy about. I love Sarah Silverman. I love to see her get some work. Hulu has landed Tyrant, The Strain, and some more FX series to stream on its Hulu channel. The Hobbit opens up very strong on Wednesday with $24.5 million. Pretty awesome. Mark Wahlberg says that he will be back for Transformers 5, and that when he signed on for number 4, Age of Extinction, he signed a multi-picture deal to do some more. He says he's not sure yet either about if Michael Bay is still returning or not, but he says he believes they're going to start filming early next year for a 2016 release date, but he is committed to the sequel and will be back, so we'll see. Unless they get a brand new director who doesn't want to, use his option, I don't see why he wouldn't return. We have the new trailer for a film called A Little Chaos, starring Kate Winslet. We have the first official trailer for Get Hard, which is the new comedy film starring Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart. That's going to be awesome. This trailer is pretty damn hilarious. David Fincher and James Ellroy's crime noir series on HBO has been officially titled Shakedown. Robert Rodriguez and Sony are teaming up for a new live-action version of Fire and Ice. Here. David Schwimmer is going to be playing Robert Kardashian on FX's new American crime story, People vs. O.J. Simpson, which we talked about a little bit earlier. Cuba Gooding going to be playing O.J. Once Upon a Time has cast Poseidon, and it is Mr. Ernie Hudson. Sarah Jessica Parker may be doing a new comedy over at HBO called Divorce. USA's hacker drama Mr. Robot has been officially ordered to series, so that's cool. Hopefully it'll do good. I don't know, shows with Christian Slater don't seem to last very long. We have the full winner list of the People Magazine Awards. You can check that out. Fargo is going to be heading to Hulu in an exclusive streaming deal. If you want to see a version of the interview, Hustler might have your first version for you, as Hustler is going to be producing a porn parody of the interview. That is pretty hilarious. More leaked emails from Sony confirm and show that they want Idris Elba to be the next James Bond. We've heard this rumor for a long time, but it definitely makes sense. I think they would love to have an African American play Bond in its next iteration. And if anybody was going to do it, it should definitely be Idris Elba. He is awesome, and I think he would be a great Bond. So, hell yeah. But the leaked emails show they are talking about it. Kate Winslet is in talks for the female lead in the Steve Jobs biopic film. We have the first trailer for Kill Me Three Times, starring Simon Pegg. We have the trailer for True Story, starring James Franco and Jonah Hill. And no, this is not a comedy. It is a true story, and it looks really damn good. And we have the first trailer for Suburban Gothic, which looks horrible, starring Kat Dennings. I don't know what the hell this movie is. We have the first image from Ted 2, which features Mark Wahlberg and Ted taking in some scuba diving. I don't know what they're doing, but hey. Tina Fey and Amy Poehler are going to go head-to-head with Star Wars next year in a film called Sisters. We have some new Daredevil photos from the Netflix series, as the producers promised the exact opposite of the Ben Affleck film. I don't know what that means, but for a lot of people, I'm sure they're going to love that. I like the Ben Affleck version. Sorry, kill me, especially the director's cut. And production has officially wrapped on the show as of today. The finale to Peter Jackson's The Hobbit film, The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies, topped the box office with a 5-day total of $90 million. Wow, congratulations. It was really cool. If you watched SNL this Saturday night, they did a little mock sketch where it was a Christmas special, and it got interrupted by Dr. Evil. Yes, it was Mike Myers returning as Austin Powers' arch nemesis, Dr. Evil, in the SNL sketch, basically making fun of North Korea and the Sony hack and them pulling the film The Interview. Really funny. Check out the sketch. You could see it on Hulu, or go to NBC.com and click on the Saturday Night Live tab. Let's see. And lastly, very cool surprise earlier this morning, as director of Doctor Strange, Scott Derrickson, he shared an image of Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. Now, don't get too excited. It's nothing really crazy, but it is a picture of Benedict Cumberbatch with the goatee and everything, looking like Doctor Strange. But his face is very transparent, and kind of like on his head is like an image of like the galaxy and all the stars and everything. But it's really cool. It's a very cool looking picture. You can clearly see Benedict Cumberbatch's face with, the images kind of like almost like a projector is over his face. It's really cool. It's the newest thing on our site. Go check it out on the Facebook and the Twitter page of the first image of Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. All right. And lastly, I want to talk about here is the nominations for the 72nd Annual Golden Globe Awards. Yes, the Golden Globes are coming, and the Golden Globes are our first step before the Oscars. I mean, there's so many awards coming out, but this is kind of what's at the Golden Globes kind of is a good indication of what we're going to get at the Oscars. So here's our list of nominees, and we'll go from there. Best Motion Picture Drama: Boyhood, Foxcatcher, The Imitation Game, Selma, and The Theory of Everything. Best Performance by an Actress in a Motion Picture Drama: Jennifer Aniston for Cake, Felicity Jones for The Theory of Everything, Julianne Moore for Still Alice, Rosamund Pike for Gone Girl, and Reese Witherspoon for Wild. Best Performance by an Actor in a Motion Picture Drama, Steve Carell for Foxcatcher, Benedict Cumberbatch for The Imitation Game, Jake Gyllenhaal for Nightcrawler, David Oyelowo for Selma, and Eddie Redmayne for The Theory of Everything. Best Motion Picture Comedy or Musical, Birdman, Grand Budapest Hotel, Into the Woods, Pride, and St. Vincent. Best Performance by an Actress in a Motion Picture Comedy or Musical, Amy Adams for Big Eyes, Emily Blunt, Into the Woods, Helen Mirren for The 100-Foot Journey, Julianne Moore for Maps to the Stars, and Quizani Wallace for Annie. Best Performance by an Actor in a Motion Picture Comedy or Musical, Ralph Fiennes for The Grand Budapest Hotel, Michael Keaton for Birdman, Bill Murray for St. Vincent, Joaquin Phoenix for Inherent Vice, Christoph Waltz for Big Eyes. Best Animated Film, Big Hero 6, The Book of Life, The Box Trolls, How to Train Your Dragon 2, and Lego Movie. Best Performance by an Actress in a Supporting Role, Patricia Arquette for Boyhood, Jessica Chastain for A Most Violent Year, Keira Knightley for The Imitation Game, Emma Stone for Birdman, and Meryl Streep for Into the Woods. Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role, Robert Duvall for The Judge, Ethan Hawke for Boyhood, Edward Norton for Birdman, Mark Ruffalo for Foxcatcher, and J.K. Simmons for Whiplash. Best Director, Wes Anderson, Grand Budapest Hotel, Ava DuVernay for Selma, David Fincher, Gone Girl, Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu for Birdman, and Richard Linklater for Boyhood. I'm going to skip some of this just nonsense stuff. Best Television Series Drama, The Affair, Downton Abbey, Game of Thrones, The Good Wife, and House of Cards. Best Performance by an Actress in a TV Series, Claire Danes for Hollywood, Viola Davis for How to Get Away with Murder, Juliana Margulies for The Good Wife, Ruth Wilson for The Affair, and Robin Wright for House of Cards. Best Performance by an Actor in a Drama, Clive Owen for The Knick, Liev Schreiber for Ray Donovan, Kevin Spacey, House of Cards, James Spader, The Blacklist, and Dominic West for The Affair. Best Television Series Comedy or Musical, Girls, Jane the Virgin, Orange is the New Black, Silicon Valley, and Transparent. Best Performance by an Actress in a Television Series, Comedy or Musical, Lena Dunham for Girls, Eddie Falco for Nurse Jackie, Julia Louis-Dreyfus for Veep, Gina Rodriguez for Jane the Virgin, and Taylor Schilling for Orange is the New Black. Best Performance by an Actor in a Television Series, Comedy or Musical, Louis C.K. for Louis, Don Cheadle, House of Lies, Ricky Gervais for Derek, William H. Macy for Shameless, and Jeffrey Tambor for Transparent. Best Miniseries or Motion Picture Made for Television, Fargo, The Missing, The Normal Heart, Oliver Kittredge, and True Detective. Best Performance by an Actress in a Miniseries or Motion Picture, Maggie Gyllenhaal for The Honorable Woman, Jessica Lange for American Horror Story Freak Show, Frances McDormand for Oliver Kittredge, Frances O'Connor for The Missing, and Alison Tolman for Fargo. Best Performance by an Actor in a Miniseries or Motion Picture, Martin Freeman for Fargo, Woody Harrelson, True Detective, Matthew McConaughey, True Detective, Mark Ruffalo for The Normal Heart, and Billy Bob Thornton for Fargo. Best Performance by an Actress in a Supporting Role in a Series, Miniseries, or Motion Picture, Uza Adobo for Orange is the New Black, Kathy Bates for American Horror Story Freak Show, Joanne Froggatt for Downton Abbey, Allison Janney for Mom, and Michelle Monaghan for True Detective. And lastly, Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role in a Series, Miniseries, or Motion Picture, Matt Bomer for The Normal Heart, Alan Cumming, The Good Wife, Colin Hanks, Fargo, Bill Murray, Olive Kitteridge, and John Voight for Ray Donovan. Great stuff on here. I've heard nothing but great stuff for Foxcatcher. I'm glad to see Liev Schreiber nominated for Ray Donovan, which I love Ray Donovan. That show is amazing. Loved always seeing Don Cheadle nominated for House of Lies because I love that. For Best Comedy, I love Silicon Valley, so that's great to see that get a nomination. I'm glad to see Dominic West get a nomination for The Affair because that show is amazing. I'm loving that show. Also, Ruth Wilson for The Affair. Great stuff. I'm glad to see The Affair itself get nominated for her show. Ray Donovan, great stuff all the way around. I'm very happy to see Jake Gyllenhaal nominated for Nightcrawler because that movie was insane and he did so good in it. So really great stuff there for the Golden Globes, man, as we get closer and closer to the Oscar nominations. All right, let's go into our release dates for Blu-rays and movie theaters this week and then run down the box office and we'll wrap this baby up. On DVD and Blu-ray this week is The Good Lie. That's the only release. There was a film that came out in limited release earlier this year with Reese Witherspoon. in theaters this week is Into the Woods. Unbroken is the other one. In limited release this week is also American Sniper, Big Eyes, and Selma. So a lot of big movies. 3 of those just in limited release though. So be aware. Check your local listings and see, because it's not going to be in a lot of theaters. But Unbroken and Into the Woods will be. And here's our box office for the weekend. Number 10 is PK with $3.5 million. Number 9 is Penguins of Madagascar with $3.5 million. Number 8 is Big Hero 6 with $3.6 million. Number 7 is Top 5 with $3.6 million. Number 6 is Wild with $4.2 million. Number 5 is The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1 with $7.8 million. Number 4 is Exodus Gods and Kings with $8.1 million. Number 3 is Annie with $16.3 million. Number 2 is Night at the Museum Secret of the Tomb with $17.3 million. And your number 1 film, of course, is The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies with $56.2 million. So there's your box office, ladies and gentlemen. And that, my friends, will wrap us up here. I know we went, probably about an hour and a half or so. Hour and 20 minutes. So pretty good for doing 2 weeks worth of news and Sony stuff and 2 movie reviews. I think we did pretty good timing. Like I said, that just shows that there wasn't a ginormous amount of news to get through. Hence the season finale here tonight. So let me give a couple shout outs. Once again, go to reddragonsradio.com and bookmark that and listen to all the great shows that are on there, especially this week with The Geek. Like I said, listen to his latest episode. You'll hear myself guest on it with him for the interview canceled, where we break down the whole interview situation. Listen to the People's Forum with my boy Peeps. You can hear me along with our boy Fred, aka Friggins. You can listen to us break down. His newest episode is all about video game movies. Love it or hate it. And there's a lot to hate, but there was some to love too. But yeah, we talk about all the video game movies from A to Z. And so that's the latest episode of the People's Forum, where yours truly is also guested on that. So I want to thank all these guys for reaching out to me and asking me to be on their shows, and I love to have them when we do Am I Still on the Airs and stuff like that. We got a great community going right now, a good bond, good flow going, and respect between us all, where we appreciate each other's opinions, and it's awesome. I love being invited on these shows and getting to kind of, instead of just always doing my own thing, getting to talk with other people about movies and the subject that I love. So check out the People's Forum. Check me out on that video game episode. Go to This Week with the Geek. Check me out on that interview episode. And listen to all the other shows that are on reddragonsradio.com. Of course, you can listen to Am I on the Air on Red Dragons Radio as well. Am I Still on the Air? Our official webpage is amiontheair.com, where you can listen to the show. Am I Still on the Airs? Watch the latest trailers. Look at all the box office stuff. Look at the movie reviews. If you're heading to the movies and you're like, I wonder what Don Mega rated this, and you forgot what I did on the show, just go to amiontheair.com, click on the movie reviews tab, and you'll see exactly what I rated it. And it goes all the way back for years, so you can see what I thought about even old movies that are sitting on your shelf on DVD. On top of that, you can follow us on Twitter at Am I on the Air. You can follow me on Twitter at DXDonMega. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Am I on the Air, of course. You can subscribe to us on iTunes. And please give us a like, subscribe, leave a little review. It definitely helps me out. If you're looking for us on the go, you can listen to us on Stitcher Radio. Stitcher is the app you can get on your mobile device and listen to us on the go. You don't even have to do anything. The show will just pop up for you automatically. You can subscribe to our circles on Google+, and of course subscribe to us on YouTube. YouTube is something I really want to start getting into more. I've talked about it on some episodes, and it started last week with that video blog that I did for the interview. So go to youtube.com/Am I on the Air. All of these links for all the social media stuff is on amiontheair.com. So if you can't remember something, or you need to find the links, just go to the webpage and you can see it there. But go to the YouTube page, youtube.com/am I on the air, and subscribe, and you'll see, I'm trying to get into some stuff. I did a little intro video review like 2 minutes long, just kind of intro to the show, and then I did the video blog for the interview getting canceled, and I'm going to probably do that moving forward as stuff breaks, like breaking news. I can't grab a show together or something, I just want to touch on it, I'll do a video blog. I'm also a subscriber to Loot Crate, and I think I'm going to start doing crate unboxings on the YouTube page as well. So if you're interested in doing Loot Crate, you can watch and see the kind of stuff that you get each month. So I think I just got December's crate yesterday, and I think I'm going to do a December video later today, showing you everything that came with the December crate for Loot Crate. So that's something else that could be exclusive to the YouTube channel, on top of some more video content that I've been talking with the boys about doing here on Red Dragons Radio. So lots of stuff coming in 2015. I think it's going to be a great year, and I thank everybody for the support. 2014 has been a pretty amazing year. A lot of stuff been going on, a lot of movements with the show, but a lot of growth and advancement, and it's been great stuff all the way around. So this has been your season finale of Season 9 for Am I on the Air. Join us in 2015 for the Season 10 premiere as we talk about a lot of good stuff, and hopefully we'll have some big news to kick off the season with. But yeah, happy holidays to everybody. Merry Christmas if you celebrate it. It is coming this week, and Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Stay safe. Stay kind. Love your family, and love Am I on the Air. Spread the word, and we will catch you next time for another brand new Am I on the Air in 2015. Peace. Red Dragon!